It's time for today's face-off on Fox Soul. Challengers Quan LX and Big Angry Adams, ready to go blow by blow on those hot topics. Face-off on Fox Soul starts right now.
Hey, Chicago, do y'all have a problem with me sitting down on this stage? Yeah. Exactly. Get off my Snoop Dogg. I bought her a chain, I bought her a bag, I made her everything. The only thing that I didn't buy her is a new wedding ring.
In this round, here's Charles Big Angry Adams.
So that was Dave Blunt's at a Juice WRLD celebration for, of course, the rapper Juice WRLD, who lost his life, I think, from an overdose. He was clapping back at some criticism that he had received from Snoop Dogg about his size and his appearance. It's become a very big talking point here in Houston because Dave Blunt's appearance is somewhat similar to a noted Houston rapper who has passed away and recently released another album. I don't think there's that much. I mean, the Houston hip hop artist was never immobile, although weight clearly contributed to his
Even
death.
Big Mo?
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about, is Big Mo. But I don't see it to be analogous. But look, I mean, I think Snoop Dogg is right that as someone that, at my most, I think I was 330, right? And now I'm 6'8", so you can hide it a little better. I'm floating around 270 now at the lowest that I got since I started dieting. I got down at about 258, 259. I'd like to get to 250. I'd like to make better food choices, but my food choices are significantly better than the way they were for a period of time where I was skinny most of my life, and then I just developed a very busy, working all kind of hours, very sedentary lifestyle. And it most absolutely contributed to health conditions that would have probably already taken my life had I not made a decision to change. I still haven't jumped on that Ozempic bandwagon. I'm not gonna lie, I've thought about it. Right? I'd like to lose another 15, 20 pounds. I'm just trying to get back into working out every day and eating, making better choices. I think we need to stop pretending in America that a guy that has to have an oxygen tank and a couch on a stage to perform doesn't need to be told, hey man, this isn't healthy, you need to get better, right? It was tough words from a doctor, who also happens to be my oldest child, that really made me see, hey, yeah, no, I need to get serious about this. We need people telling people, fat is, there are people that have gland conditions and can't help it, disabilities and can't help it.
Thyroid conditions.
But the majority of Americans that are obese, it's just because we are supersizing everything. And I could do it. I could sit down and eat a whole damn pizza.
Charles,
I love to eat, but we got to make better choices, and he needs some help.
Let me say this to you, Charles. This brother's life here, Mr. Blunt, his life could turn out to be an awful tragedy, or his life could turn into one of the greatest inspirations for those who are struggling and fighting with the addiction of food addictions. Obesity is absolutely real and out of control in America.
Out of control.
Tens of millions of Americans are struggling with obesity and struggling with dietary habits. And so whatever Snoop Dogg had to say, I pray that Snoop Dogg was saying it out of love. And I would say to our brother, Mr. Blunt, dear brother, don't so much focus on the manner in which brother is saying it, or those who are asking you to do better by your health. Focus on if what they're saying is true and what options are available to you to save your own life, because it appears this brother, like many other Americans, we're digging our graves with our teeth. The Honorable Elijah Muhammad said that the black man and woman's best medicine cabinet is your refrigerator. And so we have to clean up our dietary habits. Millions and millions of Americans are suffering like this. He's on stage with an oxygen tank. That means he has one foot in the graveyard and the other on a banana peel. Why don't we circle this brother out of love and do whatever we can do to help him lose that weight, because it appears like he's at death's door. And I condemn anybody that's trying to make this man believe or encourages him to believe that you're just fine. Live your best life now. Enjoy yourself. Don't worry about what people think about you. That's nothing more than someone that's trying to help you to your grave.
Well, I'm going to tell you, we if you get on social media, TikTok, Instagram, whatever, and you have so many, fat acceptance posts, accounts. It is considered politically incorrect to suggest
tell the truth.
that it's not a healthy lifestyle. I was at a concert recently where the person sat next to me had was not someone I knew, but we were way too close because they were sitting partially on my seat because of their size, right? And we are, you read stories, you go on Reddit, there's constant stories about obese people
on
spilling
airplanes.
over onto airplanes, and somehow the normal size person, and I'm not a normal, like I'm a giant. Even if I lose all the weight, I'm still gonna be a giant ogre of a person, right? But there are, the obesity is almost always something that can be helped.
Yes.
And it's about choices and exercise. And if we pretend that it's okay, that it's not going to kill people, and now I think we should be accepting of people. I think we should not, bullies that make fun of people. We shouldn't do that. But
encourage him out of love.
Right. I mean,
and this situation with this brother, he has a oxygen tank with a breathing apparatus around his ears into his nose. That says right there he's having some terrible health challenges. Charles, he's one step away from death's door. Anybody who loves him, is a fan of him, give him some suggestions of what he possibly can do to help change and turn this thing around, because right now he is not going to make it in this condition long.
It's an incredibly, uniquely American problem. Right?
Yes, it
and
is.
It's been going on for a long time. Back in the 90s, when I was a policeman, one time we had to help the fire department. There was a man that had a heart attack, and he was in a recliner. Piles of food all around him. He probably weighed, so we had to break the door frame out and break the wall out just to get him out. And then it took a team of us, because it was an upstairs apartment, to carry him down concrete steps just to get him help. And he had clearly just been said, this is long before Uber Eats. So people, and it was like Twinkies and Ding Dong. There was obviously someone feeding that addiction, allowing that person to be immobile, develop bed sores, develop all the, and at some point we need to tell people, hey, you've got to make a change, right? Like I decided during COVID, I had to make a change or it was going to kill me, because that's who was dying. It was fat people with high blood pressure, right? We have to start telling obese Americans, myself included, hey, eat better, do better, exercise more.
And we got to stop making people believe that unhealthy lifestyle should be accepted and celebrated.
Yeah, no, absolutely.
In this round, here's Quanell X.
Charles, we just watched a video of a young girl in a Walmart who was throwing a temper tantrum, and we don't know what the cause of that behavior was that motivated her or caused her to become so reckless in the store, but it appeared to me to be a temper tantrum. And while other adults were attempting to correct the young woman, there was another woman there, like she may be Hispanic or white, was saying, don't y'all raise your voice to her. Don't holler at her. You don't know what she's gone through. Let me explain something to you. It's not always about what she's gone through, but it's about what she's going to go through because of that type of behavior. If it's not checked, then an African-American gentleman steps in and stops her when she's breaking and busting bottles. I remember there was a time, Charles, when my grandmother told me and my brothers, now when I go to the store, don't ask me for nothing. And if you ask me and you get upset and you clown me in public, I'm going to correct you in public. And she would take her belt, put it in her purse, and we go to the store. As a reminder to us, this belt's right here. Don't clown in this store. Who was this child's parents? Because obviously they are failing this kid. The parent or the guardian should have stepped in and took physical control over her to stop her from destroying other people's property and throwing and breaking bottles on the ground that creates a dangerous environment for people in the area who could slip and fall in the wine and cut themselves. What that young girl should have been told back in my day, let me tell you something. Get the switch. Give me the belt. You bet not. And if she do it again, spare the rod, spoil the child. That child needed a butt whooping.
Okay, I love how you begin this by saying, oh yeah, the white or Latina woman. It's always got to be someone other than a black person.
Well, hell,
who was
she
actually,
wasn't white.
Hold on. She was actually on the video. There were two voices, but one of the voices.
It was her.
It was a black woman.
No, I saw the
Okay.
white woman or
Well,
the Hispanic woman
but
saying,
it doesn't
"Don't
matter.
raise your voice
It
to her."
doesn't matter the race. And what the quotes were, don't touch her, don't yell at her, don't yell at her, don't touch her. She could be the next president. Hey, let me tell you something. That young lady will not be the next president, and she won't be a president 30 or 40 years from now either, right? They also said, you don't know what she's going through, and that's the truth. You don't know what she's going through, but that doesn't mean you have to be tolerant of criminality, right? Whether it's a child or an adult. And see, we've gotten to that point, right? I was reading about, if you'll remember, the lunatic that drove in Times Square and killed a 12-year-old girl and hurt like 20 people. Admitted that he was smoking PCP and marijuana before, said he was trying to kill all people. He got found not guilty a few months back. He got found not guilty by reason of insanity and put in a hospital. Who knows for how long. It's not insanity when you smoke PCP and do crazy stuff. But if you listen to the media portrayal, and portrays, oh, he's struggling with this. No, he got thrown out of the service for being violent. He was a human stain. And it seems like there are certain demographics where we don't want to have honest conversations, right? This is a young girl of color, so clearly she's got something going on, right? Clearly there's a problem, not because of her demographics or her race, but because of her abysmal actions.
Should have been handled.
And there should have been one. Where's the parent, right?
Agreed.
Why are there so many feral children in this world of all races, right, that are running around with nobody telling them what to do and what not to do,
So
right?
what was the solution in this particular case?
Here's the thing. The corporal punishment, I do think that sometimes behavior requires some sort of corporal punishment, but most studies...
Man, come on, the hell with all that.
No, most
Somebody
studies
should have got a belt
that,
and whooped her ears and say, get over there and sit your ass down somewhere. Had that have been my child, I'd have went over and grabbed about a hundred and I'll beat you goddamn. You gotta take off this belt right now.
I would imagine...
That's the problem. She ain't had a good answer.
I would imagine this child has seen a lot of violence and destruction.
I doubt
in
it
her
very
home,
seriously.
And that's
that
what
child
led
ain't seen
to
a good
this
butt
behavior.
whooping. No, not that one.
I'm not saying she
that one ain't seen a good butt whooping.
But at the very least, she needed to be restrained and she needed to be parented. I'm not saying she needed to get beat, right? Because frankly, if you're acting like
at least with the switch.
If you're acting like
at least
that
with the switch.
At that age, that is learned behavior. And she's probably witnessed her parents
or that's
destroy
behavior
property,
that's never been punished.
Yeah.
Or that's behavior that's never been held accountable for. Or that's behavior that's tolerated in the home. Now it's demonstrated itself in public.
But she had to learn it from somewhere, right? Unless she's
Children don't have to learn
she did not appear to
that
be
it's okay to be
misbehaving.
misbehaving. Parents give them that permission.
That's not sure. Like when you see hypersexualized kids that age, it's usually
they
because
learn
they've
behavior.
been exposed to sex or they've been molested. Kids that are being, I mean, that was not.
But this was spatter rod. This was spatter rod, spoil the child.
I would say
that was biblical
probably,
there. Spatter rod, spoil the child.
See, I disagree. I think she probably has violent, inattentive parents that are prone to that kind of behavior as well. and that she learned it, and that she needed to be restrained and probably taken from the home and put with another family member or into foster care. I mean, clearly there was a real problem.
That was a young girl who ain't clearly had no butt whooping.
Well,
Don't know what a real butt whooping look like and ain't had one. And there's too many kids in America today who ain't never had a good butt whooping. And if good butt whoopings came back, a lot of this crazy behavior wouldn't be tolerated. A lot of the bullying in school that these kids are suffering in school with bullies, a lot of that stuff would not happen if the school had not gotten rid of good butt whoopings with corporal punishment.
Far too much politically correct enabling.
Oh,
right?
no doubt about it.
Clearly that the perceptions of her immutable characteristics led to the people around her wanting her to be free to express herself.
Some crazy as hell
violently,
folk.
Right?
Political correctness going wrong.
You know, the whole thing is when you see anyone, I mean, we see it every day on social media. People just tearing stuff up, people assaulting people and nobody interceding. One of my daughter's friends.
Because we've gotten away from the way we once were.
Was walking down the street in New York, a little tiny Asian girl, probably 95 pounds, a lawyer, young lawyer. Some guy just ran up and punched her in the face, right? And all the men stood around and did nothing.
But not in my day growing up. When we was growing up, the men would have killed
It
you.
was actually
when we were growing up and we saw something like that happen, the men on the corner, the winos on the corner would have put their foot through his behind when we were growing up. We've gotten away from the way we were.
Okay, again, what we need is policing, people interceding.
But what about the
real
community policing
consequences for
itself?
criminal.
What about the community policing
so
itself?
You're advocating for lynching?
I want to say this to everybody.
You're advocating for
if
lynching,
if you a man in the neighborhood and you watch a big old man knock a woman out, you men in the neighborhood should get dead on his ass on the spot.
Okay, I'm not pro lynching. I am pro
That
real
ain't lynching.
consequences
That's pro
for
good
crime.
ass whooping. That ain't lynching.
In today's Face Off, up.
A Simpsonville family has filed a lawsuit claiming Greenville County Schools was negligent in responding to bullying and harassment claims when it comes to their now 14-year-old daughter.
The suit claims the lack of response from administrators, faculty, and staff led to their daughter's attempted suicide.
The mother of the child sat down with our Destiny Chance to share a story you'll see only on WYFF News 4. We do want to warn you, some of the details may be difficult to hear and see.
It's another morning for this mother of three. Except there's no getting ready for carpool or packing a lunchbox.
Unfortunately, words do hurt. They used to teach us sticks and stones will break my bones, but words will never harm me. Words are the one thing that we will carry.
Ty Turner, filled with emotion, speaking publicly for the first time about when her daughter was 11 years old, a student at Fisher Middle School. In the 24-page lawsuit her family filed this summer, it details multiple occasions where her daughter, Kalea, says another student physically assaulted her and called her a roach and a man.
There was no lack.
Cornell, this story actually gets worse, and this is what we're talking about now. The latest update, the latest news story on it, is that her tormentors, her bullies, one of them snuck in to the hospital when she was still in a coma and intubated. Now she's in kind of a near comatose state, right? She's got permanent mental retardation or limited mental from the lack of oxygen from trying to hang herself. But then took pictures of her and posted them on social media to continue to bully her. And we talk about, like this little kid at Walmart. And we talk about these monsters who should be the face-off F-ups, these little monsters, and the school that didn't do more to protect the bully kids. And this is an epidemic problem, much like obesity is an epidemic. In America right now, bullied kids are being tormented into becoming victimizers themselves or into just giving up. And especially in a lot of urban areas and urban districts where there are absolutely no rules being enforced, right? And you have good, rule-following, brilliant young students of color who go to school terrified every day until the point where they give up trying to learn and give up going to school. And this, of course, is the worst case. But those kids that then went and got pictures of her and bullied her, they hopefully they'll all rot in some sort of hell for the rest of their damn life, and it's disgusting.
I disagree with that. I totally disagree with that. First of all, I think what these children did to this young girl is wrong. It's saddened, and these children need to be taught correctly and rehabilitated mentally and psychologically and spiritually.
You don't do that.
Oh, you can't be done correctly. First of all, there was a time when if your parent found out that you were at school bullying another kid, they would come to the school and whoop your behind in front of everybody in the classroom. There was a time to where young men in my community were so afraid that our bad behavior would get back home to our guardian or our parent, because we knew they was coming to the school and deal with us in front of everybody. That was a threat that they would make good on. Now that we've taken discipline out of the school, it used to be if you bullied a kid in school and the teacher went and told the coach came with that board and correct that backside, and your bullying went out the window. There was a time where we taught our children not to be so mentally weak when it came to these bullies. Don't mentally break down. Don't mentally give in. Mentally stand up for yourself. There was a time where we told children, young people, that the bully put his hands on you, you got a right to defend and protect yourself. We have made our children mentally and psychologically weak now to where they're now committing acts of harm to themselves because they can't see anywhere where they can get relief from the bully. But these are not monsters.
That was some top shelf.
Those kids are not monsters. They need to be taught correctly and rehabilitated.
I'm glad you took off your rose-colored yesteryear
but they're
glasses.
Not monsters.
Because no, I'm not talking about bullying.
And you want these kids to rot in hell? Stop all that, man.
Most bullies learn their bullying from in the home, and they're being bullied by their parents.
But these are 11-year-old kids who
I'm
can be corrected.
After this girl was in a coma her life was ruined.
That's wrong.
Going there to take more pictures of her and terrorize. I'm talking about those kids, right? I'm not talking about regular bullies.
I guarantee you.
I'm talking about monsters.
I guarantee you.
And you're
those
not
kids
fixing those
don't got somebody at
monsters.
home putting that belt on their backside either. I guarantee you don't have that.
That's it for the Face Off on Fox Soul. We'll catch you next time.